Chapter -32, Surf's Up, still written by Frank in blue ink. When we reached the Tiger Snake Ferry, the water was as smooth as a whale, and the sky looked just like the inside of a great big blue beanie that really could cover God's mind. I thought, maybe we do live inside God's head, and we're one of the movies that she watches. Or he. Or maybe God is a woman and a man. I can never decide. Or maybe God is something else altogether. Whatever God is, in my imagination, I always think she's really nice and she likes me a lot. And she loves the Frankster in our game. And he's just me, really, so I get a double dose. That morning I pulled my blue beanie down over my ears. I didn't really need to. It wasn't cold, but I love the blue beanie. It brings me luck. So, the break, I said. Is it really that good? Ben nodded. It's beyond excellent. The waves are sublime, added Sky. Sublime, said Minnow with a smile. I love that word. Makes me want to say and sublimin. Sky grinned and looked at me. It's almost as good here as the Noesis. Her eyes challenged me to disagree. We'll see, I said. As we walked down to the beach, the surf was glassy with an offshore breeze. Before the waves broke, they looked like the palest boiled sweet blue and green. Fantastic, said Dad. My favourite waves in all of the universe, said Omar. Almost as good as Marescimar, said Angel. Omar grinned. Almost. We wasted no time racing into the water. Minnow's dog was with us, Campese. He dived straight in, completely unfazed that the waves were 3 times his size. Great sheets of watery glass. They reminded me of glaciers with their strange, icy colours, but when they crashed down, they were the best combo of foam and froth. That surf was incredible. Angel and Blizzard were wild. They each chose the longest boards and kept surfing in unison like nothing else. I think there was more than enough magic at the break that day. As we walked back to the car, we were super ready for a second breakfast. But before we left the beach, we all turned to look at the water and yelled, "Booyah!" and then burst out laughing. On the way to the ferry, we were all inventing the wildest stories about the monstrous waves and how gnarly the surf was and, of course, who'd been the best. Angel decided that it was Minnow because even though she's small, she managed to stay up for the longest. Back at my place, I had the best fun showing Sky and Ben the incredible museum where I live. Part of it's a sandstone art museum which was designed by the same convict who designed Minnow's church. And just a short walk across some grass, there's a white house which used to be tea rooms, but under the ground is a tunnel that links the 2 buildings. And off that tunnel are many more where amazing art used to be housed. I guess that's one of the reasons why we put heaps of tunnels into our computer game. Although not all the action is underground. Our characters get to fly too, over land and over the sea. And of course it's even better now that we're adding in lots of Noesis surfing as well. And Marescimar. We added in the melting classroom, the best classroom ever. But back to where I live. We have heaps of indigo in our house because Dad loves indigo. I always loved it, but after I came back from Marescimar, I found out why Dad loves it. He's related to Solo's ancestor, the one who created the indigo sea around the islands of time. Her name's Elsie Dew, and she's related to me, so I'm related to Solo. So good. We all felt happy knowing that our parents are magicians. What a thing to find out. After Min and I gave Sky and Ben a quick tour of the tunnels, we went into the kitchen. Mum and Dad had filled it with steaming bread, hot teas, coffee, scones and lots of jam and cream. Dad always keeps a garden full of strawberries, so there are plenty to share. They're for luck on Marescimar, and Dad's always said his strawberries are for luck as well. Of course he'd say that. All those times he went missing. He'd been sneaking off to Marescimar for years. Mum has a cow called Marabella. Her cream is so good. Pablo is our black cat. That morning he was licking some white from his paws because he'd accidentally tipped over a pot of cream. Buddy and Hazel used to live with us, but they died a while ago. They were our Australian terriers, and they were always beside themselves with joy to welcome guests. As soon as we gave them bones, though, they'd become lost in the very great gladness of chewing. I used to cry secretly about them being gone, but now I know I'll probably see them on one of our visits to heaven. I've even thought about asking Ezekiel if he'd mind taking me straight to them.